Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to be going over mounting an eye in clay here. We had a viewer that sent us a message and said on the deer mounting video that we kind of cut it short, so I thought I'd make another video and show how we do all the clay work and doing the eye install. So what I've got here, I've got a 32 millimeter whitetail eye, and I'm going to take some critter clay, and the first thing I want to do, as you can see on the back of this eye, it's kind of hollowed out back here in the back. I'm going to take and I'm going to fill this with clay and install it into the eye socket here, and that'll help hold the eye in till I get the rest of the eye blended in around the bottom. So this won't take it don't take very much, just enough to get it in there, just to hold it in place. You also want to make sure if you got a pre-rotated eye that you turn the eye in the direction you want the deer looking. Alright, once you get the eye in, you want to make sure if you got your form here, we got it level with the ground, let you know the back be level with the wall, and we're going to set this pupil to where it is level with the ground. White-tailed deer, they're a flight animal, so anytime that their head is, no matter what position it's in, their pupil's always going to be level with the ground. Alright. That looks pretty good. We got that installed. Now we're going to take this clay and we're going to start blending in this eye. We're going to actually blend it into the form here. And this, when we start here on the bottom, we're not really doing any detail work. We're just pretty much filling the void here under the eye and blending it into the form. And once you get it set in there, you want to take a little pick tool or maybe something like a little awl. This is what I use to adjust the skin with when I'm working on the face. But I'm going to find the front corner of the eye here, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to make me a little hole. And that little hole is right there where your nictitated membrane is on the front of your deer's eye. When I mount that deer, if you'll notice, if you've watched the deer mounting video, that's where I install that pin to lock that eyelid and eye skin in right there in the front corner. So that hole will kind of give you a reference point, and once you get the skin on, where to put it. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to start building the upper lid. Just get you a thing of clay here. I'm going to roll it out. And I usually try to make almost like a pencil size shape. What you're going to do, you're going to come in here right at that front corner and lay that clay into that eye. And you don't want to go too far up on your form here, because you got a lot of detail, there's a lot of muscle detail in the front of this form to where that eye is going to be sculpted into. So you just want to kind of run that in right there into the form. You got to remember too, on a deer, this eyelid, it hangs over. And the best thing to do is get you some reference pictures, and if you can, get a cast of a deer eye, and that'll you can use that as reference to how far to make this eyelid go over. Once you get the hang of this, it don't take long to get it sculpted in. You just want to make sure when you bring this around the back of the eye, you want this clay to stop right here at the back. You don't want a big bulging bunch of clay at the back of this deer's eye. It just kind of drops off. Alright. Now once we get this in, we're going to come back and we're going to do the lower lid. And we're just going to take another little piece of clay and roll it out into just a little, it's real small. And this is actually going to, when you're prepping your hide, if you turn those eyelids all the way out to the very edge, there's some little fat glands in there. They're just little white dots. You want to actually take those out with your blade, because if you don't, it's going to cause your eyelid to shrink up. Well, if you take those out, you got to replace that with something. So I add a little roll of clay in here, and what will happen is you'll take that eye skin and you'll actually tuck it right back down in between the glass and the clay. And once you do that, that'll lock your skin into place. Which of course you're going to have hide paste on here too. Now you have your lower brow, and then you have your upper brow. Once you get the hide on, this lower brow, upper brow, where it meets here, you'll be able to tell exactly once the hide's on how that skin will lay in there, and you'll be able to see it in the hair patterns it lays. And your whiskers, or your eyelash or eyebrows or eyelash, whatever you want to call them up here, they'll sit right in here between the upper and lower brow. Alright, now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a modeling tool now, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut in a line right here. And this is going to be the brow area for your skin to lay for your eyelid. That skin will lay, once you get the skin on, get your eyelids tucked, you'll want to lay that skin right in there, and that'll give you part of your brow, your eye. And on the second day work, you'll come back in here, and by the second day the skin it'll be drying down enough to where you can kind of work this skin without your eyelids pulling out. And as you're doing them, as you tuck this skin into this slot right here, you want to take your finger and kind of push in, and then tuck a little bit of the skin down as you go, because if you don't, what's going to happen is you want your eyelashes running at almost a 45-degree angle. Well, if you don't push the skin down, tuck it down, as you're running this tool over the skin, filling in this groove, your eyelashes are going to want to tend to turn up. So you got to make sure you kind of push the skin down as you go around through here. That way to keep them in place. And once you do that, just after you start working on the second day work, that's the thing about working on these deer. You have to kind of babysit them for a few days as they dry. And just make sure you keep that skin pushed up against that glass down here, especially on your lower lid here. Once you get it tucked in, if you kind of taxi some skin up here off this cheek and work it into this tear duct right here, you want to kind of pinch that skin together, and it'll help all that skin to dry right here around the eye, so it don't pull away and make your eye kind of bug out. So that's about all there is to it. I'll turn it around here so you can see it from a head-on perspective. And that's pretty much all there is to claying in a deer's eyes. If you hadn't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and hit that little bell. That little bell will notify you whenever we got new content up and available. And as always, thanks for watching, and God bless.